The road back for Illinois is long, so we have to take the first steps today. Steps to address some unusual and unusually bad public policies. Steps to reform a destructive and corrosive culture of corruption. And steps to build on the strengths of the good Illinois and create a vibrant, high-skill, high-wage economy that works for all of us. In the last video, we talked about what government needs to do to enable a high-skill, high-wage economy. Invest in people, invest in infrastructure, and enact the right kinds of regulations. But we need to take additional actions to make sure the economy works for everyone. These include raising wages, enacting policies that allow people to live in dignity, and focusing job creation where it's most urgently needed. First, how do we raise wages? Well, one good way is to actually, wait for it, raise wages. The minimum wage in Illinois is $8.25. And it's true that under 10% of Illinois workers make that. But when you raise the minimum wage, people's pay rises higher up the spectrum. And research shows that a significant minimum wage increase would directly help at least a third of Illinois workers. But it would do more than that. When you increase the wage of our poorest workers by $1, you decrease the cost of government benefits by $200. And even giving a typical worker a dollar raise can save $150. In other words, these policies save the government money, which these days is, useful. But that's not all. In 2011, a bunch of collectivists over at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago studied the impact of minimum wage increases on consumer spending. They showed that when the minimum wage increases by $1, consumer spending in affected households increases by $2,800 per year. It may not surprise you, of course, that when people have more money, they spend more money. But here's the bottom line. This new income goes right back into the economy, creating more jobs. So let's do a little arithmetic here. Once a math teacher, always a math teacher. Start by considering just the lowest 10% of wage earners in Illinois. Those making $9.17 an hour or less. That's about 585,000 people. Every time you raise their wages by $1, 3 good things happen. First, they're paid $2,000 more a year. That's a total of $1.17 billion in income that can be used to improve quality of life and economic security, and it brings in over $43 million in income tax revenue. Next, the government saves $117 million in the cost of public assistance programs. And so, by the way, if you're keeping track, we're now a net $160 million ahead. And finally, consumer spending. To work this out, we're going to have to convert our number of workers into households. So let's be incredibly conservative and divide by 2. When we multiply through, we see that this will create an extraordinary $819 million in new consumer spending. And remember, those are just the benefits associated with the bottom 10% of earners per dollar raise. You raise the wage by $3, you triple those numbers. And by the way, there's going to be plenty of additional benefit associated with other workers. It's time to raise our minimum wage significantly and finally accrue these gains. We can also raise wages by using government's power as an employer. The people we hire to care for children, the disabled, and seniors, they haven't had a raise for way too long. They deserve better, and giving them a raise will allow us to provide better care and improve the economy. By the way, raising wages isn't just about increasing paychecks. We should have strong earned sick time and family leave policies. That's a form of compensation, and it strengthens families and workplaces. That brings me to the next item, allowing people to live in dignity. Government has a responsibility to provide high-quality care for people who require it, and this care needs to be as sensitive to quality of life as it possibly can be. That means we have to deliver services to individuals with disabilities and seniors, and those services have to allow them to live in their communities as long as possible. The promise of a middle-class life should not come with an expiration date. Finally, focusing job creation where it's most urgently needed. We talked in the last video about investing in infrastructure, and look, it's necessary. The American Society of Civil Engineers gave Illinois a C- on our 2014 infrastructure report card. We had Ds in important categories like roads and transit. But it's not only necessary because we need the infrastructure. It's also necessary because these projects put people to work, giving them a shot at a middle-class life. But when we do that, remember this. We have 102 counties in Illinois. Their unemployment rates range from 3.6%, which is honestly very good, to 9.5%, which is terrible. When we target our investments and other job creation policies like training, we need to remember where people most need the work. This is necessary if we want to make sure that it's our whole state thriving. I know this sounds like a lot, and it is, but Illinois is in a state of crisis. Every day, parents across the state wake up wondering what the future will be like for their children. Workers across Illinois wake up wondering if they'll have job security and the chance to earn a decent living with a secure retirement. And seniors across Illinois wake up wondering if they'll have the opportunity to live with dignity and stability in their own communities. Illinois is a successful place in lots of ways, but we need a robust plan to capitalize on our strengths and invest in the diverse, creative workforce that will move us forward. By fixing the policy anomalies that got us here in the first place, reforming the structural causes of corruption, and retooling for a high-wage, high-skill economy, we can create a brighter, stronger, more sustainable future for Illinois. We got ourselves into this situation. We can get ourselves out. The road back for Illinois is long, so let's get started. Thanks for watching.